Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for coming out to Society Hall. Such a pleasure to have you here, and anytime you can make it. I'm Don Richmond. I'm one of the board members here, and love to have you here with us. We got some great music coming up both tonight, and then tell you about a few shows coming up. June 16th. My dear friend Michael Hearn is going to be here, and he's. I've been a fan of his since I first met him in the 1970s, and I'll probably sit in and pick a little on that one too. And June 23rd, a wonderful up-and-coming Western music artist, Corinne Marie, is going to be here. She's an amazing guitarist. She's been touring with Michael Martin Murphey as his lead guitarist for the last few years, but she's a fine singer-songwriter on her own, so she's really a powerful performer. And July 2nd, somebody that's been coming to the hall here every year, a great Texas singer-songwriter named Mike Blakely will be here. So those are the next 3 shows coming up, and there's lots more. We're booked well into the fall, so you can check out the schedule on societyhall.org anytime. So anyway, tonight I'm really excited to have these people here. Been fans of theirs ever since I first ran across their music, and they just, I don't know, epitomize what beautiful folk-oriented acoustic music does, and it always just hits me right where it needs to. So thrilled to have them with us here. Would you please welcome Pete and Crystal, also known as Ordinary Elephant.
Eggshell white, paint in your hair, dirt beneath your nails, and years on the back of your hands. Some things can wash clean, and some will stick around. Blades of St. Augustine scattered across the driveway. Still feels like Sunday when I hear a Cajun band. Every chamber of my heart bears a mark of what I come from. Sometimes our world falls apart, but I guess that's what it takes to find the part that cannot break. Wooden table on a concrete slab. The fish are red and the crabs are blue. Every 5-gallon bucket carries a piece of you. Some things can wash clean, and some will stick around. Spilt beer and a deck of cards, an old bed sheet for a tablecloth. Some of those days are lost, but most I still come across. Every chamber of my heart bears the mark of what I come from. Sometimes our world falls apart, but I guess that's what it takes to find the part that cannot break. I come from hard work. I come from never giving up. I come from you. I built cities from sidewalk chalk and sailed the world in a cardboard boat. I hope I always dream that big. I put the whole damn kitchen in every pot of cold mud soup. Hope I always put everything I got into what I do. Some things can wash clean, and some will stick around. Every chamber of my heart bears a mark of what I come from. Sometimes our world falls apart, but I guess that's what it takes to find a part that cannot break. We cannot break. Thank you all. Thank you so much for being here. It is really wonderful to be able to play music to faces again. So we so appreciate you allowing us to do that. Well, that song is, I wrote that song for my mom, so I sent that out to her. She's watching back home in Louisiana on the live stream. And hello to all of you out there in live stream world. Well, we used to be normal people. Whatever
Once
that
upon a time.
whatever that means. Whatever normal is, but you know, we didn't always travel the roads, living in a van half the year. We had normal jobs, and but there came a time that I realized that a lot of my goals were based on other people's expectations instead of my own. There was just something that felt easier and safer about that. But we came to realize that the safe route is not always the right route for you. There's an old yellow house sitting on my dash, and a picture I took, sunlight for a flash, the whole family out front, 'cause that's what you do. Sitting on concrete steps, I grew up climbing. I take them 2 at a time now, but I still reach for the rail, 'cause that's what you do. There's a comfort in keeping to a path, doing what I know and knowing what I have. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do, but one day this rail is gonna rust right through you. One day it's gonna rust right through. There are places to go and milestones to meet. Each one that I reach says something about me. It's what they wanna hear, 'cause that's what I do. I've kept my head down, kept my mouth shut. Anything to keep me from screwing up, holding on to their version of me, 'cause that's what I do. There's a comfort in keeping to a path, doing what I know and knowing what I have. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do, but one day this rail is gonna rust right through you. One day it's gonna rust right through. Middle of this highway, same old drive, and what might be the middle of my life, where I'm supposed to be. That's what they say. When I doubt that what I have to say could ever count for much. Giving in to what I really need feels like giving up, but I'm done giving up on myself, holding on to what they say. There's a comfort in keeping to a path, doing what I know and knowing what I have. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do, but one day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through. One day this rail's gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through. Thank you. Well, yesterday was my grandmother's birthday, and it's 4 years this year since we lost her. My mom's mom, her name was Birdie, and she was a wonderful lady. She had to deal with some unfortunate things in the last few years of her life. She lost her house to a flood. She lost her husband to Alzheimer's. She had heart surgery, and she broke her leg. And it was just kind of one thing after another. And she was in her late 80s, and it was a lot. But she dealt with it with grace. And no matter what was happening, she was always happy to see us, when we had the chance to. And I take after her quite a bit, and that's something I hope I get from her. Alarm clock on her bedside table, bright red numbers bigger than your head. She couldn't see them otherwise. She said she might never go to bed. She got her teeth tucked in a tumbler, bright white smile floating in the night. She couldn't flash that grin otherwise, but you'd still see it in her eyes. I hope to be that happy. I hope to be that happy. When the E on the eye chart gets blurry and I turn in my keys, when there is more behind than in front of me. She once was a dancing girl, New York City chorus line. Then she went on down to Texas. He told her that's where the stars really shine. Black and white wedding day picture hung proudly in a frame of gold. She doesn't cry when she speaks of it. She makes you laugh telling stories that it told. I hope to be that happy. I hope to be that happy. When the E on the eye chart gets blurry and I turn in my keys, when there is more behind than in front of me. Here I am in New York City. I told her I shouldn't make my way down. She said I'll take you out dancing out at the old Horseshoe Lounge. And at the end of our Sunday night phone call, she said thank you for talking to me, 'cause there are no telephones in heaven, but I heard there might be TV. I hope to be that happy. I hope to be that happy. To leave behind every place I've been, for all the places I can be. When there is more behind and in front of me, I hope I will know all that matters is right in front of me.
Y'all are really good at clapping. I just want to tell you that.
I know. It feels so nice after being home for a couple of years playing to a TV, a camera, computer screen.
Yeah.
And our dogs are not good clappers. They just snore over in the corner. So we appreciate your energy. Well, songs are stories, and they can be our stories, and sometimes they can be someone else's. And I love that about song, that we can share other people's points of view and just explore that. And this song we were out at a songwriting retreat out in West Texas near the Chinati Mountains. This song found us. Excuses are easy when everything's on the line. These Montana magpies, they're black, they're white, feathers sitting side by side, bring an unknown offering of something we should try. Was he a monster or a martyr? Depends on who he asks. But once it's done, you can't take it back. How can I keep my mind open if my eyes are closed? It's hard to hide the hate when there's no love to show. How can I nail a man up for the color of his skin? Knock him down, make him pay for my father's sin. And I am starting to see we are all the color of the scars we keep. Show you when you're older, my father always said, but he never did get old enough for that. Every Sunday afternoon, denim shirt, cowboy hat, out in the sun, throwing shadows at an axe. There's a tool for every job, a job for every man. Be careful what you put in your hands. How can I keep my mind open if my eyes are closed? It's hard to hide the hate when there's no love to show. How can I nail a man up for color of his skin? Knock him down, make him pay for my father's sin. And I am starting to see we are all the color of the scars that we keep. These times are hard, and it's harder to heal when where you were born decides what you fear. It's time to be a brother, not my father's son. I was born to be a bigot, but that don't mean that I am one. I put my boots on just the same, and when the day is done, I pray for you, my son. How can I keep my mind open if my eyes are closed? It's hard to hide the hate when there's no love to show. How can I nail a man up for the color of his skin? Knock him down, make him pay for my father's sin. And I am starting to see we are all the color of the scars that we keep. We are all the color of the scars that we keep. Well, before I wrote songs, I started playing music. I was always a writer. I was a really quiet kid, and so that's how stuff made it out of my brain. Was on the page. And so before I wrote songs, I wrote poetry, and that's something I still do. And we send out a little newsletter about once a month or so, and I usually put some at the bottom of that. And we had some people write back a few times asking when we're ever going to put a book together. I was like, well, that's a good idea. And so we did. We put together a little poetry book. I'll read you something from there. This one is called Tree Swing. Parallel ropes hanging from the giant oak tree, like skinny pigtail braids, stopping about 2 feet from the mossy ground. A wooden rectangle holds them together like a barrette. Wind pushes the swing seat back and forth like a mother. The sun is peeking in and out of the clouds as the part of the earth I'm standing on is running from it. I smell the dirt that's always almost mud under these branches that catch the light. I watch my step, roots running from resistance, digging deep for what they need. I sit on the cold wood, wrap my forearms around the front of the rope braids, grasping them just above my head, lift my feet and lose the resistance, digging deep for what I need. We are, I guess I didn't say this earlier, we are married. Some people ask. Actually, someone asked one time recently if, after we sang a song and like, are y'all related? You're just singing right at each other the whole time. And I was like, I don't know that we would do that if we were related. That might be a little weird. But we are married.
Legally.
Right. Yeah, we've been together for 13 years and married for 10. And we just feel so lucky to be able to do this together. And we have a newer song, but it's courtesy of old love.
Is that too fast? Okay. 1, 2.
Some days I am lightning, I am crashing in, shouting out across the steady. Other days I am an arrow, pinning on the bend of the bow, blowing a question, hard rain or an unexpected lesson, I just breathe them in. You were a summer storm, right out of nowhere. When the light hits your eyes just right, I see a relic of the rain that brought us here. Like movies in my head, I point out what I could have said that might have changed the ending. Other days read like the first page of that favorite book I've read 100 times. Still can't wait for where it's going, 'cause the same things are holding brighter light, shine on what's always been. Leave me too surprised to second guess it. You were a summer storm, right out of nowhere. When the light hits your eyes just right, I see a relic of the rain that brought us here. Morning in the sleepy kitchen, the sunlight was dancing. I was lost in my head in a crowd of everyone I've never been. Then your laugh cracked a smile across the quiet. I breathe deep and grateful to be reminded of everything that's shown up when I can't find it on my own. Summer storm, right out of nowhere. When the light hits your eyes just right, I see a relic of the rain that brought us here.
Crystal mentioned our 2 dogs.
Did I? I don't know.
I think you mentioned that the dogs don't clap well.
Oh, yes, okay. Got it.
And some of you may know we used to travel full time in an RV with 4 dogs, and we realize what that makes us look like. The difference between telling people you have 4 dogs and that you have 2 dogs is
pretty stark.
Significant.
Big difference in the reaction.
Yeah.
There's usually there would be like emotion associated with it, 4 dogs. Oh.
Step backwards.
A little bit of a step backwards.
Slowly. At least we don't travel with a horse.
We do not. But we have a horse song. We don't have a dog song.
No dog song, horse song.
Our dogs are just in a lot of our songs. They sneak in there. Like their dog hair, they just sneak in everywhere.
1, 2, 3.
In the days when horses rode and man made the wind, the north became our leader. When the west turned its back on the sun again, we moved like whittled water, sped by narrowed stone. In the days when horses rode, our feet squeezed their barrel chests, their feet bailed through the dirt. No line between men. Shoot, my guitar just fell off of my body. Wow. Okay. Well then.
It finally broke for good.
Broke for good. Okay. Well, hey,
Is that
no,
a
wait.
one in your case?
Hang on. It didn't. The string didn't break. One moment, please. Convenient that there are chairs on the stage here. The string didn't break. The little latch thing came off.
That's crazy.
Agreed. Agreed. So this happened to me, not on stage, right before a show, and I repaired it with random string that I found in the green room of the venue, and that is holding up. It's the other part, the manufactured part, that decided to give way just now.
Did it break, or is it
No,
just...
it
okay.
didn't. It just popped off. The end of that.
So you're good.
I think so.
All right.
That was, wow.
Do you remember where we were?
I don't.
We might just start that one over.
Yeah, we'll just... Here, oh no.
Oh,
it
no, no,
doesn't-
no,
it
no.
doesn't- Here, you do
Here.
it. Teamwork.
We have tape if you need some.
I'm just glad that I have decent reflexes and did not drop my guitar on the ground. Okay, that feels all right. Okay,
Good.
all right. We'll just start that one over, right?
Yeah, we
Already
decided
decided
that.
that. Okay, all right. Oh, nervous. Okay.
That was amazing. 1, 2, 3.
In the days when horses rode and man made the wind, the north became our leader. When the west turned its back on the sun again, we moved like whittled water, sped by narrowed stone. In the days when horses rode, our feet squeezed their barrel chests, their feet barreled through the dirt. No line between man and beast, and we were one with the earth. Down narrow mountain passes, you would never make it through alone. In the days when horses rode. Oh, my sweet Harriet, she turned like a rhyme that you hear and can't forget. Faster than your last drink goes dry, fast enough to save your life. Broken spirits carried home, broken men and broken bones, hooves and heroes gathered in the middle of the main road, breaking the news we'd known for weeks to women and children with tear-stained cheeks. In the days when horses rode. Oh, my sweet Harriet, she turned like a rhyme that you hear and can't forget. Faster than your last drink goes dry, fast enough to save your life. My mare went back to work, tending the farm and the pasture, till she walked alone past the boundary line. I knew not to follow after. There were things that were hard to believe and things that you had to. In the days when horses rode. Oh, my sweet Harriet, she turned like a rhyme that you hear and can't forget. Faster than your last drink goes dry, fast enough to save your life, fast enough to save your life. Thank you. for our next magic trick. Wow, that was exhilarating. Well, sometime over the last 2 years, I was reading an article. It was an opinion piece on death, written by a palliative care and hospice physician. And he was basically exploring how people's perception of death has changed, given what we've all been dealing with. And there's something in there that I absolutely loved. He talked about how death is not the physical end of our bodies, that we're all made up of atoms that have been here for a really long time and are going to go on to exist long past us. And in a time of such loss, there was something really comforting just thinking about that we're all made of the same stuff. You know, we're all just recycled matter. And, thinking about what our little carbon atoms may have been and what they may go on to be. Let's pretend we are pigeons strutting round a Sunday bench, dancing for our dinner from an old man humming old hymns. We can be beggars, we can help pass the time, build a bridge for joy to walk upon without seeing the desire. Let's pretend we are rosary beads being rolled in wrinkled hands, or sunk deep into a stranger's skin next to the name of his first band. We can be someone's prayer, we can be a permanent scar, we can be the dust that grants the wish inside a fallen star. We're in the service of a circle that ain't broken yet. Everything that is always been, will someday be again. But ashes to atoms, we all fall from our skin. So let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. Let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. Let's pretend we are poetry, printed on page, watching heavy eyes trace our shape as we give their weight a name. We can be a teacher, we can be a hand to hold, outlive the mind that wrote us down, forgive the words it chose. We're in the service of a circle that ain't broken yet. Everything that is always been and will someday be again. But ashes to atoms, we all fall from our skin. So let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. Let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. Let's pretend we are a promise hanging heavy from a tongue, put out like a handshake for someone else to judge. We can be a savior or a trick up a sleeve. We can be who we say we are, or who they need us to be. We're in the service of a circle that ain't broken yet. So let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. Let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. Let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. Let's pretend we are a choir, sing a chorus that never ends. I'm going to read you one more piece of poetry, play one more song, and then we'll take a short little break. And then we'll just come back up and we'll do these songs again for the second set. You'll know the words, you can sing along. It'll be great. We will do different songs for you.
Just this once.
Right, just this once. We will make an exception. Yeah, but we have merch in the back. We have CDs and T-shirts and poetry books. And, we also have a newsletter sign up back there if you want to keep in touch. That's the best way for us to get the word out with what's happening in our corner of the world. I had mentioned my grandmother earlier. She shortly after she passed, we had to get something from on their property out behind where their house was. They had what we just called the shop, which is a very common thing to have in South Louisiana. It's like a workshop where you have like lawnmowers and tools and that kind of thing. But then you also have a kitchen and a table and a place to have fish fries, crawfish boils, and family gatherings. And we had to get something out of there. And I wrote this one called Yardstick. Leaning up against the worn wooden wall, it's 3 feet on the concrete. Numbers and notches, so orderly along the side, a contrast to this space. Black ink or paint in the grooves that told it where to be, making marks for measuring. It was probably made for fabrics, but was more often used for fish. So many cleaned and cooked in this workshop that was a satellite extension of the house, where there are only cobwebs and quiet now. But if I close my eyes and hold my breath, I can smell the cornmeal and red pepper. I can hear the fuzzy crack of fish hitting hot oil. I open my eyes and pick up this aging yardstick, still sturdy in my weak and weepy hands, and I'm thankful that some things can't be measured. Thank you all again so much for being here, and a big can to Don over on sound back there. Over in the corner, like an old bar stool, he held me up right when I needed him to. He said, listen up, my friend, let me tell you what I know. You can wish you were someone else, then you gotta let it go. 'Cause that's a good way to get a bad start. I don't care what straw you drew, gotta let it make the best of you. We ain't playing a game, we ain't running a race. It's a way of life, boy, you just gotta find your place. Used to be like you, we'd sit here in the dark, watch them in the spotlight, pick myself apart. That's a good way to get a bad start. I don't care what straw you drew, gotta let it make the best of you. You don't need to bring down inside when they bring down the lights. Then the room went dark. I could barely see his face. Picked up his old Martin box, ready for the stage. He said, let me ask you this, what you gonna do? You pick yourself up or find a crack to fall through? 'Cause that's a good way to get a bad start. I don't care what straw you drew, gotta let it make the best of you. You don't need a good way, get a bad start. I don't care what straw you do, gotta let it make the best of you. So you're ready to sing along, right? We're going to do all the same songs?
Said we weren't going to do that tonight.
Our instruments were in the swamp very recently, and so they're adjusting to your very dry air up here.
Anybody have a cookie tonight? Is that a thing here? Cookies?
Are there,
I saw someone with a cookie earlier.
like, oh, as if they have them in the back
Yeah.
to sell.
I didn't get a cookie. No.
He actually does that all the time. He does that voice. Did you not hear him?
No.
He said, "Please, sir."
Oh,
He does
thought he
that
said
all the
Lisa.
time. It totally sounded like you. Like,
sir.
"Please, sir, may I have some more?"
Have a cookie.
And he does that all the time. Anyway, all right.
We will save some cookies.
Thank you.
Excellent.
I guess I don't need to tell my cookie joke.
You don't. You don't.
All right.
Jenny was a good woman, James was a gentleman. Pushed hard against pushed back. They loved like porcelain. It was a work of art. They got stronger under fire. Got judged for being what it was. It was worth the fight. Don't forget what you come from. Don't forget what you come from. Jenny showed up at 16. James was born right down the street to a name that told him who he should be. There were things you didn't do, people you didn't talk to, but Jenny and James, they didn't care who knew. Don't forget what you come from. Don't forget what you come from. Jenny kept a diary, James just kept it in. Everybody's got their own way of dealing with where they've been. They left before you got here, but she left her words to read, and I give you her name to remind you of who you can be. Don't forget what you come from. 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 It's interesting how songs can change over time. Not what they mean, but how you feel them, depending on what you've experienced between hearing it once and hearing it again. This next song is one that we typically introduce by saying it's what you get when you mix depression and a grocery store, which is still true. But when I wrote it, I didn't really understand how deeply I could feel that the way I have over the last 2 years. And he does the grocery shopping now, thankfully.
There's a pizza crust in the parking lot, and a blackbird with a new batch of friends. The engine's off, my seatbelt's still on, gathering up the energy to go in. There's a shopping cart in the 4 o'clock sun, telling the light where to land. Fingers back and forth between the steering wheel and the seat. I wish that cart could talk to my hands. I know where to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground. Grocery store greeter, bright yellow vest so you can see her, waiting to be hospitable. I do my best to reciprocate, fake a frugal smile, not sure who's more uncomfortable. The produce is impossible, can't make decisions on a good day. What am I supposed to do now? All these artificial people in this artificial light here, I don't feel like myself anyhow. I know where to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground. See myself in the freezer door glass, see myself and what's behind it, suspended on a shelf, waiting to expire or be brought back to life. There's a tap on my shoulder, concerned voice in my ear. Is there something I could help you find? I guess I look confused, a little bit lost, or maybe it's just how I look in this light. I know where to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground. Nowhere to go, I don't know how. I'm just a shadow trying to get off the ground.
We love traveling in general. But traveling for music can be interesting because you get to see a lot of places, but you don't get to stay a lot of places for long enough. Gotta get to the next show. And a few years ago, we were in Washington, D.C., and we had 2 hours. We saw it all, don't worry. We got it all in. Now, half of that was probably taken up figuring out how to ride the metro. We are not city people. We don't really know how to do that properly, law-abidingly. But we made our way down to the National Mall, and we knew that we wanted to see the Vietnam Memorial. But there was really nothing that could have prepared us for what that would feel like walking up to it. Just how heavy, it felt like something was just physically being laid on us as we walked up to it. You can hear a number, but just seeing every single name etched out is just incredibly moving. And we got to the end, and we also started thinking about people whose names are not on that wall, but who were there and who are still here, and the things that they can sometimes deal with because of what they had to deal with. And we wrote this song.
Don't smell your bourbon today, just car exhaust and a drizzle on the dirt. Waiting on the city bus at Constitution and 21st. A kid sits down with his face to his phone. If you were here, I can just hear what you'd say. Try being 19 and 69, boy, spitting Sunnybrook right in his face. Shot him down in 73, the war was all but over. Took a month to make it home and 6 more before you could hold her. Somewhere on these city streets you lost your will and your composure. The war is anything but over. Take me once a week to walk that wall that does not bear your name. Relive the war, relive the return to the girl who never took your name. As far as I can tell, that was the only thing she didn't take. The girl and the war always left me not knowing what to say. Shot him down in 73, the war was all but over. Took a month to make it home and 6 more before you could hold her. Somewhere on these city streets you lost your will and your composure. The war is anything but over. Haven't seen you around in a spell. I hear you drying out and raising hell. A friend locked you in at the Stardust. Poor man's rehab is a cheap motel. 'Cause sometimes an outsider knows what you need better than anyone you've ever tried to be. No one picks a fight they think they would lose, but some battles you don't get to choose. Shot him down in 73, the war was all but over. Took a month to make it home and 6 more before you could hold her. Somewhere on these city streets you lost your will and your composure. The war is anything but over. The war is anything but over.
Thank you. Well, I'm in a few songwriting groups. I have a bit of an overcommitment problem when it comes to that. And I was working on a song, or trying to work on a song one month, and I do deal with depression, and was in a pretty dark space, and just trying to find something to focus my attention on, and kind of having a hard time. But then I started finding myself being very grateful to have a partner in life that can handle that, that can deal with the unpredictability of depression and just be there and support me and shelter me from the world when needed. And I started thinking about what it feels like his actions say to me. And I ended up writing a song from his point of view to me. And then I ran it by him to make sure that it felt true.
Checks out. Easiest song I ever wrote.
I can see what you're thinking, land right on your face. You've never been any good at playing cards. Sits there like a sidewalk, cracked and winding, leading me someplace I didn't plan to go. Your spirit is a powder keg. It's been sitting in the dark. You kicked it in the water to keep away the sparks. Like a penny it's singing down, unable to swim. Packed full of wishes I wish you didn't need again. I will keep throwing a line out, pull it back in, bring up a bunch of nothing, toss it out again. Some things are worth waiting for, some I can't live without. Let the world spin without us, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. Sun falls through the window between your eye and your ear. Temple line on the couch, full of prayers I can't hear. I'll send up my song to you, hope you edge toward the sound. Stop asking the water what it takes to drown. Oh, oh, oh. question all apology, 'cause you're choked by your trying and all the parts of you can't see. Your eyes ask what it is and mine do. I hope my heart can answer you. I will keep throwing a line out, pull it back in, bring up a bunch of nothing, toss it out again. Some things are worth waiting for, some I can't live without. Let the world spin without us, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
This one's from my point of view.
I make you coffee every morning. You make me laugh when I'm trying not to. See me in ways I'm scared to. Love me anyway. Now this West Texas sunset is watching us walk off a hard day. With too much to do got in the way of being who we are. It was a day best left for being left behind, but I would do it all over to stay shoulder to shoulder with you. As long as the rain turns to river in this canyon, this canyon returns my every word. I will sing it out in echoes. Anywhere the road goes, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you. We got two dogs apiece, like bouncing balloons on the end of their leash, kicking up gold dust from the sagebrush, tails to the wind. Now there's nothing like a good dog to show you the joy in a single moment. There's nothing like a good love to make every moment worth it. So I'll spend everyone left to come right where I am, shoulder to shoulder with you. As long as the rain turns to river in this canyon, this canyon returns my every word. I will sing it out in echoes. Anywhere the road goes, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you. As long as the rain turns the river in this canyon, this canyon returns my every word. I will sing it out in echoes. Anywhere the road goes, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you. I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you, I'll walk with you. I will walk with you.
In 2020, I turned 40. And that was an interesting year to turn 40. It was for me anyway. If you haven't noticed, I notice things. I'm a noticer, an observer, a thinker, an overthinker, and having a lot of time to do that in the year 2020. While, whatever people put that, 40 is like a thing, society puts on, and so it got my midlife crisis wheels. It really got them going earlier than I thought that they would. So I wrote a song about it because that was pretty much all that I could do about it. Can't stop time.
Or thinking.
Or thinking, yep. You didn't get
Ha ha ha. That's 1,
I
2,
know.
3.
Okay.
One, two, three.
The smell of coffee's lying around like confetti on the floor. Dust is falling in a sunbeam, and it looks like fake snow in that Christmas snow globe at the lighthouse that Grandma always leaves out for a month or two past Mardi Gras. Everything is a beacon, a breadcrumb leading me back to a moment bookmarked in my brain, ready to be turned to and unfolded so I can tear it out and hold it right up against what's right in front of me. Oh, 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 oh. I've been too busy comparing now to then and too far from the end. Feel the end creeping closer. But every crumpled calendar page is more than a step forward, it's a step away. But back here it's clear, my path ain't pointing toward forever. Life has always been an arc, bent toward this half-century mark, leaving behind a wake of wondering where I should have been. Every one of its waves is stacking up instead of fading, so it all keeps ringing loud into the ether. Oh, 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 so I guess this is my mandatory midlife comeuppance, where I learn that time both changes and it doesn't. That I can always say there used to be more of it left, and that will always be true. And that thought keeps me up at night, tossing and turning over questions that are trying harder to get through. They used to raise their hands, wave them quiet in the dark. Now those hands are fists, slugging me in the arm, yelling tag. You're it, between the blaring of my alarm. So every morning is a fight between doing right by the days left and planning out just how to do that. There's a line between balance and being lost and trying to find it. It's as fine as every wrinkle in this bathroom mirror. I realize we are reflections of everything that we have seen, but I believe that if we're lucky, all that we have let ourselves dream is still flickering in the dark somewhere like a worn-out film on a dollar theater movie screen. Oh, 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 oh. Ooh.
Again, a huge thank you to Society Hall, all the people that make this place happen, and Don on sound. God, it's having good sound like this is just. And to all of you for being such a wonderful audience. Not all audiences are created equal, and like we feel it, and we feel you giving us love, and thank you for being here tonight. Well, I've got a couple more songs for you. Several of these, that last one and these last two are newer songs that we've written over the last couple years, and I hope to be recording them before too much longer. But a place where they do exist now, and we have something called a Patreon page. It's like an online community for artists and supporters to kind of gather, and we post all of our newer songs and behind the scenes things and first looks, first listens at stuff. That's something you could check out if you're interested.
Or only listens sometimes.
Sometimes they will. What goes there will never go anywhere else.
Fields of rye and golden rye, waving in the wind, I give 'em a nod. The crows are calling, got dogs at my feet. Joy's not forgotten me. This gravel road crackles like static in the air. Don't know the way, but I'm getting there. There's humming in my head, melody breaking free. Joy's not forgotten me. Tonight I sway to that old-time sound, in a crown of starlight and a cotton gown. I'll dance with the moon through the cracks in the clouds, sing my thanks for what I found. Sing my thanks for what I found. Spent the day stacking wood in the shade of the pines, cutting what fell and calling it mine. Fuel for the evening, an offering from the trees. Joy's not forgotten me. Campfire turns a song to a smile, like a totem that cut straight from time. I'll tell it on the prairie. I have all I need. Joy's not forgotten me. Tonight I sway to that old-time sound, in a crown of starlight and a cotton gown. I'll dance with the moon through the cracks in the clouds, sing my thanks for what I found. Sing my thanks for what I found. Joy's not forgotten me. Tonight I sway to that old-time sound, in a crown of starlight and a cotton gown. I'll dance with the moon through the cracks in the clouds, sing my thanks for what I found. Sing my thanks for what I found. Sing my thanks for what I found.
Yeah, this is our third show of a 2-month tour, and it's just been really lovely. Every night has just been beautiful, beautiful people in beautiful spaces, and we just appreciate it so much. We're gonna leave you with this. This is the first song that we wrote at the start of the pandemic. So we were in Australia when the world shut down. we flew there for a tour because everything was still a go. And we played one show and had to turn around and come home because everything changed really fast. And once the adrenaline wore off of making it back home across the globe, started really sinking in what was going on. And I work my way through things in song a lot of times. This was no different. Thank y'all for being here tonight.
Tell me that story again, darling. The one where we all end up alright. Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true once upon a time? I'll keep keeping up with the laundry. You'll keep keeping up with the car. I guess things aren't really changing here. It sure feels like they are. It sure feels like they are. We got good dogs, we got a good porch. Got eyes to see and we've got a good view. Got ears to hear and we are listening. The truth is not something we can choose. The truth is not something we can choose. Tell me that story again, darling. The one where we all end up alright. Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Tell me that story again, darling. Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time? Wasn't it true? Wasn't it true once upon a time?
y'all so much.
Too much.
We're going to bring you on the road with us. We were down near Big Bend National Park in West Texas, and then Fort Davis. They have the McDonald Observatory out there, one of the darkest skies in the U.S. And they have these giant telescopes that they set up, and you can just see all this ancient light, and it's incredible. It's been too long since we've been there, but we were just feeling really thankful for all the things that we get to see out in nature that make us feel so incredibly small, but in just the absolute best way possible. And we wrote this little song.
In the belly of this canyon carved by the hands of the Rio Grande, 1,000 miles from what I once called home, I'm just a speck on this West Texas wind, blowing through these hills of stone. When I feel like next to nothing, next to something like that, I know there's nothing I need I don't already have. Talking about tomorrow, looking at a sky full of past. The only thing that's new is the moon. Our eyes collect the light of stars, born 3 million years ago, showing up as we are passing through. When I feel like next to nothing, next to something like that, I know there's nothing I need I don't already have. So thank you for taking me to the trees and where the mountains talk to me. Time ain't slowing down, guess you and I better learn to. 'Cause what's the worth of living through a life that cannot catch up with you?